All right, for this next section, you need to memorize a couple things, okay? One, if you ever see this upside down T, this symbol up here, you have to use the slope formula. If you see the word midpoint, you use a midpoint formula. If you see the word perpendicular bisector, you're using a theorem. So like on here, it says show segments are, and here's that symbol. On a graph, you're going to have to show, if it's perpendicular, we have to show opposite, and I'm abbreviating, reciprocal slopes. Now, I shouldn't abbreviate, so. What formula we can use to show that you have perpendicular? That is the slope formula. So to show a box right here, I need to use the slope formula. Now, it says, what formula can I use to show A is a midpoint? There's that word. If I see that word to show A is a midpoint, I'm going to use the midpoint formula. So to show that tick mark right there, I need the midpoint formula. So midpoint shows that tick mark shows we have a midpoint. Now, if HA is equal to AT and HT is perpendicular, then LA is a perpendicular bisector. And if it's a perpendicular bisector, the theorem states that it is always equal distance to that bisector. So on 14, use the blank to show EG is perpendicular. Well, that symbol tells me what formula, and that would be slope formula. If you pick that, good job. The blank states that if a point is on the perpendicular bisector, then it is equal distance from the endpoints of the segment. If I see that word, I'm going to use the perpendicular. I'm going to abbreviate bisector, sector, guys, sorry. Theorem. This one is when we use a theorem, okay? So just memorize these facts so we can fill them in correctly on your test. And now we're going to get into transformations. What we have up here are some definitions, some words, some rules, some things in words, the rules in words. What I would focus on, make sure this is on the last test, and if we struggled on the last time, it's because we forgot to memorize the rules for each type. So if I'm doing a translation, remember you got to do some type of addition to the x and the y. If I'm doing a reflection, these are the rules. Reflection over y, reflection over x, reflection over y equals x. So please take the time to memorize the rules. Rotation, we got 90 degrees, that's the negative y x. 180, negative x, negative y. 270. Dilation, that's some type of size change. This is an example. Okay, you can have an enlargement when it's greater than 1. Reduction when it's less than 1. Basically, you're multiplying to the scale factor to both x and y. So what I did in words was just kind of explain what you're doing to each rule. Okay, you might want to make some flashcards or something, but memorize this. Okay, there's no formula chart with this information. So when we get into our questions that are test-like, get in the habit, make sure that you read it, then go back, identify, underline key information, circle the question. So it says which figure is rotated about the origin 180, so we're rotating by 180, 180, then translate it 4 units right and 1 unit up. Which describes, so which one describes the 2 transformations? So we're going to do one at a time. So let's think about this. If I'm rotating, the first one says we're going to rotate 80 degrees. R 180. What's the rule for that? Negative x, negative y. Sorry that the board froze on me again. Apologize. Hold on just a second. Okay, so back to what we're doing. There is our rule for rotating 180, okay? So after that, it says we're going to translate 4 units to the right. Well, 4 units to the right. If I'm moving to the right, is that adding or subtracting? Adding, exactly. So that's adding on the x-axis. So if I'm going to the right, that's plus to the x. If I'm going to the left, that would be minus to the x. So basically, I have this negative x, and now I'm adding 4 to it because I'm going 4 units to the right. Well, then it says we're going to go 1 unit up. So if I go up, that's positive to the y coordinate. So that means I've got this negative y already, and now I'm going to add 1. And so I'm trying to figure out which answer choice is showing our rule, our combination of the two rules, the two transformations. We should have A. Okay. Now, 16, another, we had this on the last test, similar to it. Line symmetry, but not rotational symmetry. Okay. So line symmetry means I can draw my line through it, and it will be reflective. So that has line symmetry. We have line symmetry here. I have actually more than one line. Okay. I have line symmetry here. No line symmetry. So I can't even use D. Okay. Now, no rotational. Rotational symmetry means I can turn it and it will map to itself. So if I were to rotate this, it would take me a full, look, because it doesn't fit on top of each other. Like right there, if I stop right there, it's not fitting perfectly. Not fitting, still not fitting. It would take a full 360s. So it would take me 360 for it to map. Well, it can't take, if it takes 360, then it does not have rotational. So this one answer is A. Right there. Got the first answer choice. All right, now, what is the dilation point? Little side note. Remember to connect each pre-image and image point. Meaning, for example, over here, I want to connect my D to my D prime. I want to connect my B to my B prime. So you need to use a straight edge. You need to use a ruler, a protractor, and you need to extend your lines for this to work. So I'm going to do it on the smart board so you can see why we have to extend the lines and you want it to be straight. Don't be guessing. Like if I was to guess, here's what some of y'all try to do. There's your line. Oh, it kind of goes through. And then you say, there's that one. And you kind of think you have, oh, that's off. And so you try to go back through and you do another one. See, you don't want to do stuff like that. You want to use a straight edge. So I want to use a straight, exact line. I'm going to use red so we can signify it. And I want that line to go through the pre-image, and I'm going to fix mine a little bit because it's a little off. My pre-image point and its image point. And I'm going to extend the line, extend the line. So there we go. We want to do another one. Okay? And we want to go, we got to at least have two. I want to go from, oops, undo that. I want to go, oops, do it again. Not giving me my line. Alright, I want to go from B to B prime. And my line, I'm going to fix it. Oops. Make sure it goes through the points. And now by doing that, making sure I'm using a straight edge tool, I can see this point of intersection. Okay? That point of intersection is at 2, -3. So there is our answer. Okay? So once you try the next one, I'm not going to do that one for you. I do want to talk about this. These are same things, same situation. And I'm going to do it like freehand, like y'all want to do it. All right, so always go from the pre-image, that's your regular point, to the image. That's the one with the prime. So I am going like such. So here I've got free-handed. Okay, that's not very straight. Let me see if I can try better. Do better. It's a little bit better. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and do my y and y prime. So, and I want to see. Now that's a little better. Okay, well, straight edge will give me exact, and I can see they intersect. And there's a typo in here because that intersection is at a negative 2, comma 4. So this should have been a negative 2, comma 4. So the C will work. But you have the other one. Okay. All right. And then we're going to get into some problem solving. So we'll do the last page on the next video. Thank you.